Hello, I'm Codrin Tapu, your psychology professor, and today we're going to talk about the personality system. Human personality is a three-dimensional reality that during the history of human sciences guided the main types of approaches that attempted to explore it. These approaches are the biological approach, which connects human being with its organic substrate, a mark of its belonging to the logic of life. The psychological approach, which finds the essence of the human person in the very originality of its nature. And the sociological approach, which finds humanity flourishing in the crops of the community and having its root implanted in the social field. The psychological dimension is the central element of the person, the link between the biological and the social levels of human being. Without betraying its biological origin, nor the imprint and expressiveness of its social dimension, the personality recognizes its most intimate identity in the sphere of psychology. Personality is the set of aspects or hypostases of existence and manifestation of a human being, the way a person is, presents herself, and is perceived by others. It is the way of being of an individual, his unique style of thinking, her unique style of feeling and acting. It is perhaps the most generous and meaningful concept of psychology. There are several approaches to the study of personality and to the intervention or change upon personality. The first is behavioral analysis, that is the study of elementary and complex human behaviors, identifying external stimuli and internal motives that generate them. Observation involves recording natural behavior, and experiment uses specific stimuli and dependent variable to change behavior, the dependent variable, under constant conditions that are called control variable. Cognitive behavioral therapy intends to change the way people think about reality, changing their feelings and behavior accordingly. The second approach to the study of personality and its change is psychoanalysis, which studies dreams, slips of memory, childhood memories, interpreting them in a symbolic manner as expressions of unconscious sexual, social, or aggressive pulses. This is the best basis for psychoanalytic therapy. A third approach is phenomenological analysis, which interprets observable behaviors as indices of subjective internal mental experiences. Projective techniques such as the Rorschach inkblot test or thematic apperception test (TAT) assess response patterns to ambiguous stimuli. Phenomenological existentialist and Gestalt therapy focuses on changing the patterns of subjective experience. A fourth approach is the humanistic interpretation, which studies the motives, aspirations, and creative capacities of individuals, considering the expressions of the tendency of personal spiritual fulfillment. Personality questionnaires, such as the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, MMPI, the California Personality Inventory, the 16th Personality Factor Questionnaire, use questions involving words or behaviors related to specific personality traits. Humanistic or person-centered therapy uses non-directive methods that help the client to figure out the best ways to solve their problems. The evolutionary approach is another approach that explains the personality in terms of adaptation and survival of the species. For example, it has been found that women choose partners able to protect and support their children, and men choose their partners according to the ability to give birth to healthy children. Another approach is the ecological approach that explains personality traits by the influence of the environment in which the individual lives, the physical, social, economic, cultural, and political environment. And last but not least, the global relational approach studies the personality in its entirety, with all the biological and environmental factors influencing it. Relational therapy adjusts relations between thinking, feeling, doing, and expressing, both within a person and between people. Classically, personality was seen as being made up of temperament, character, and abilities. Temperament is how we do it, our behavior style, the innate way of being, which depends on the amount of energy that a person possesses. There are temperamental people with a lot of energy, lively, quick to turn on, and on the opposite side, there are quiet, slow, calm people. Temperament is due to the strength, mobility, and balance of excitation and inhibition processes taking place in the cerebral cortex. Character is what we do, the content of our behavior, the system of values and attitudes of an individual, formed through education, and that determines their moral conduct. Attitudes are positional in relation to various activities. For example, attitudes towards learning, towards work. They can be positive attitudes of acceptance or negative rejection. An attitude includes an idea, a motivation for that idea, and behaviors related to it. Verbal expression of an attitude is called opinion. Abilities is how well we perform, the success rate of our actions, with intelligence being the most general ability. The personality disorders are classified by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, in three clusters or categories. Group A, the odd, bizarre, eccentric, including paranoid personality, which is suspicious and distrustful. The schizoid personality, which is isolated, retired, indifferent. And the schizotypal personality, which is schizoid with psychotic tendencies. The group B, dramatic, erratic personalities, including antisocial personality disorder, the people which disregard social rules and obligations. The borderline personality disorder, lacking a sense of self, violent and impulsive with self and others. The histrionic personality disorder, the theatrical and demonstrative people. And the narcissistic personality disorder, the people which are excessively centered on themselves. Group C, the anxious, fearful type, including the following subtypes or personality disorders. The avoidant personality disorder, the people who are lonely, hyper-emotional. The dependent personality disorders, which depend on others excessively. And obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. the rigid and perfectionist people. Thank you, and see you next time to another lecture of psychology.